Hello and welcome to Tech Tips. Today we are going to be covering how to create a website using Google Sites. You can remember that Google Sites is the app for websites because it's called Google Sites. So just think Google websites, Google Sites. Okay, so where do we find this app? Let's just start in our Omnibox on the top of the screen and type in Google Sites. As long as you're using Google Chrome, your Omnibox search will automatically direct you to exactly the app that you want. So let's click on Google Sites, and now we need to log in. I'm going to log in with my Jackson SD account. When you log into Google Sites, you're going to start at this page you are looking at right here. Nothing too exciting. This is actually what they refer to as classic sites, as they upgraded the software earlier this year, maybe last year. You need to click on New Google Sites. It's critical that you remember this step because what you're looking at right now, it's not old Google Sites. According to the Googlers, they don't like that kind of language. This is classic Google Sites. You want New Google Sites. This is critical. When you log back in here and you're looking for your saved files, you will need to find it. But if you create sites using old sites or classic sites, they will appear here. So let's click on New Google Sites. Loading a little bit, and now you can see all of the sites that I have created myself, and also some sites that my students created last marking period for their projects. If you filter owned by anyone, owned by me, not owned by me, it can be a very easy step for you to eliminate the sites that you want to see and what you don't want to see. These are all sites owned by me, not owned by me, owned by anyone. There's a site that I made just for fun, playing around with it. You'll find that this is actually a lot of fun, especially when you start adding things like I don't know, for instance, a GIF of Pikachu wearing shutter shades, or a nice beachy header as your background. You can even embed your favorite YouTube videos. This is one of my favorites. It's titled Baby Monkey, parentheses, going backwards on a pig, Baby Monkey. It's delightful. I recommend that. Check that out when you get a chance. And I have a little bit of text and little Mr. Krabs. Okay, so that's just a little idea of what a more basic website can look like. I made a sample website about sloths just because I think that they're adorable and they bring me a lot of joy. Anybody know what time it is? It's sloth time, etc., etc. I even embedded my Choose Your Own Adventure Google form quiz directly on this site. What's really great about Google Sites is that you can link it very easily to all of the things that you have in your drive. For instance, if you have a Google Forms quiz that you want to embed, you can attach it relatively simply. There's also a very user-friendly YouTube connection where you can instantly link and embed YouTube videos without even having to worry about embed codes, which is pretty cool. If you can copy and paste a URL, that's all the code that you need for that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you from this, we're going to go from the very beginning, and I'm going to show you step by step how you will see your site. This is in your editing mode. You can tell because when I hover over things, the little box goes around all of the different items, showing me that I am able to edit it. If I click on the little eyeball up here, I can preview my site and get a better idea of what it will look like when it is published to the web and live. Okay, now let's get serious. I showed you my sloth. Let's click back. Now we're back to the Google Sites homepage. Remember, this is the new Google Sites homepage. Now, whenever we're doing something on Google and we want to make something new, this is something that you might have noticed in Google Classroom or maybe in your Drive, especially if you have the Google Drive app on your phone, there's a little plus sign. The plus sign means we want to add something new. We want to, in this case, create a new site. So we click on the plus sign and it will launch the page builder. The very first thing that we want to do before we move on is give our site a name. I'm going to call my site Monday because today is Monday And that's all I'm going to come up with right now. We're not going to dwell too much on that. Now, to edit different sections of your website, all you need to do is click on the section you want to edit, and the editor functions and tools will pop up automatically. Let's give our page a title. To do that, we just click on the page title. Hi, this is my title. Boring, I know. Now to get on another section, we just click it. Now let's say we want to add text to the next section. All I did was double click in that spot and the text box came up. All I did was double click on the section. And I selected an option what I wanted to add. In this case, the text box popped. Alright, now, let's say I don't want to add text, but I want to add a picture. Let's try it again on the next section. I'm going to double click, and I will see Images, Text, Upload, From Drive, URL. This kind of sounds like a sentence. It's completing itself, but don't get too stuck on that. Just remember that this is your little magic toolbox of all of the things that you can add. So let's add an image. Let's click on Images because we want to add an image. So you can either paste an image URL. That means if you have an image that's hosted somewhere else on the web and you have the URL of the direct link of where the image is hosted, you can paste that there. The next option is search. Here you can automatically search through Google Images, which is a really convenient step, not only because it takes a step out of actually doing the research and finding pictures separately, but this automatically filters your results to only display images that are labeled for commercial reuse with modification. That means that legally you're allowed to use these images. So let's find something nice. Let's do a sunset. So I'm going to type the word sunset. I'm going to click search, and there's all the sunsets. But before we choose a sunset, let's go through some of the other options of uploading images. So we already discussed URL. Now we're on search, which is, again, just searching through Google Images directly. I can click on my albums, and then I will see all of the albums in my drive and all the silly things that live there. And then my entire Google Drive here, which is more than just, my albums in the drive. That would have like more of, the files from my classes, etc. I'm going to go back to search. Let's go back to that sunset, because that looks really pretty. How about this one? Oh, you know what? I like the clouds. Let's pick that one. Okay. And there's our picture. But now that I have a picture here, this looks pretty dull. And guess what? We're not stuck with this boring gray header background either, this cover photo. So let's click here. You can see images, URL, text, upload from Drive. All of those options still appear. However, if you choose an image from this toolbar, like we did in the third section, it will only put a picture next to our text. What we want is a header image. So we're going to click on Change Image, select Image, and again we can choose from a gallery that is supplied by Google. It was very nice of them. Or by URL, just like I showed you before, search your albums, Google Drive, etc. Plenty to choose from. So let's take a gander here at some of the images provided by our friends at Google. We got some good stuff, nice little variety of images. I like this one. Post-its are fun. I'm going to select that image, and there it is. Now here's the fun part. If we click on these little magical stars, it will adjust for readability. In this case, it actually happened automatically. That must be a new development, but it's a really great way to make sure that you can actually read your text when it's over the picture, which is, a critical aspect of web design. Your readers need to be able to read what you're posting, otherwise, why are you posting it at all? So, let's take a look here at some of the other channels of things that we can edit and customize here. Here's Insert. You'll see a lot of the shortcuts that we saw before. You can also add a divider, upload things from your drive, YouTube, calendar, map, docs, slides, sheets, forms, charts. Basically, anything that you created with a Google app that's in your Drive can be pretty easily added to your Google site. If you click on Pages, you will have the opportunity to add pages to your site. To add a page, you just click on, add page. See, the new Google Sites makes it very easy to navigate and edit things, and you'll really end up with a pretty professional looking website once you're done. So to add a new page, put in a page name, I'll call this page 2, done. So then I have page 2 right here. Underneath my home page, see a little house, that typically means home. And then I have page 2, it's labeled page 2 because, as you can remember, that's what I named it. And to edit page 2, you just double click in the section and add your text and images like we reviewed previously. Here's me, I'm going to add my little avatar picture. Here's me, okay. So let's click on themes now. Now, under themes is where you will choose from different font styles and layout and default layouts. I like this one. Very bold letters that you can see pretty easily over the text. So I like this one, but you can pick whatever one you like. We also have the font style option here, so you're not married to the font that is in a theme that you choose either. You can scroll down here and choose from a few different fonts. And then here you can choose from the default color that you would like to have attached to your theme. So again, the channels were Insert, Pages, and Themes. Let's go back to Pages to go home. Go back to our home page. Now to preview our website to see what it's going to look like when it's live, we just click Preview. And there you have it. Let's X out. You can also preview how your site will look on phones. Let's do that again. So if someone was looking at my website on their smartphone, this is how it would appear. Or a tablet view, and a computer monitor like we're looking at right now is this one here. I'm going to click the X to get out of there. Now, if you are collaborating on a website with more than one person other than yourself, you can click Add Editors to add other people to your project. Similarly to other Google Docs and Google apps such as Google Docs and Google Slides, you can choose the editing options that will work best for you. If you only want people to view your website, you can choose View Only. If you just want people to help you edit it, you can just add them as collaborators here so they can have viewing rights and editing privileges as well. I'm going to click Done. See the ... Remember, ... When you see this on Google, think of it as an ellipsis. Remember when you're reading, you see, you're reading something suspenseful, and she turned the corner and ... just as it's building suspense. That, just like it's used in English and reading and writing, it also means more. There's more ... So we click on that. Here we can see site analytics, which I can get to later. That's a different video, I think. You can also send feedback. If you're in my classes, that's something that we like to do a lot. If, one of our Google apps isn't working, we take the time to write them a nice little note so we can help them help us. We can help them improve their apps and things and hopefully help us be able to use them a little bit better. Again, if you're stuck, there's a little help button here and then also a take a tour button, which you can feel free to do at your leisure. When you are ready to publish your website, that means it will be live on the web. But remember, it will be connected to our Jackson domain.